Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Thought I'd come on today, the 2nd of July, and just say hi to everyone and go through a few things that happened today, a few things that are coming up over the next weekend. So here we are. Breathing a bit heavily, I just did my daily push-ups, trying to stay fit during lockdown, COVID-19, crisis, all that stuff. Trying to stay fit and positive, and that's what we should all be doing. So when we do these ones, try and be interactive. Love to have people chatting alongside me, so I don't feel like I'm here by myself. I mean, it's not just me; it's me and my cat, Shadow. He'll come and say hi soon. But I hope you're all really well. It's been a bit of a crazy time still here in Australia, in Melbourne. There are things happening around the world and around other countries as well, so I wanted to touch base on those too while we have a bit of a chat. So the first thing I actually wanted to touch on today, and I just realized I spelt it wrong in my heading, is Optus has started testing 5G at 26 gigahertz throughout Sydney. Now, my strong feeling here is that no one has been informed of this. They haven't gone and asked the questions and said, is everyone okay if we turn this up to 26 gigahertz? I'm feeling much better today. Thank you, Alia. I feel 1,000 times better. I was just worn out yesterday, lots of researching. I guess that's what people don't know, that, Darwood, you're back. I thought we'd lost you, brother. It's so good to see you back. I know people have days off, but for us, it's every day we're here grinding, trying to find as much information as we can and get it out to you guys. So yeah, I was going to talk to you guys about Optus getting 26 gigahertz. Tests happening now. So if I read it, I'm gonna have to read it from my phone. But it's saying Optus runs millimeter 5G tests in Sydney. Now, a couple of things here are very, very disturbing. The fact that they're calling it testing. Who are they testing Optus 5G with? They're not just testing it across devices. They've never run these 5G 26 gigahertz wavelengths around human beings. So they're actually admitting that they're testing them on humans right now. So that for me is scary. Scary, scary stuff. I'm going to write it here in our comments so you guys can let people know. 26 gigahertz tested in Sydney. 26 gigahertz are being tested throughout Sydney right now. And that for me is actually quite horrific, more than some of the other things happening around. Optus is testing 5G millimeter wavelengths at 4 locations in Sydney. And it says here, bring in speeds of 20 gigabytes per second. Who gives a flying fuck about the speed being that little bit quicker of getting your downloads? It means jack shit all. Like, I'm sorry, this is starting to actually really piss me off because they keep talking about the speed of this, the speed. At what speed do we say that's enough for us downloading our movies? Do you want movies to download before you even think about which movie you want to download? It's actually ridiculous. And every single person I speak to says, who actually needs faster wavelengths? Who actually needs, quicker downloads? We don't need quicker downloads, people. We don't need quicker downloads. Telstra, Optus, Vodafone. We don't need quicker downloads. If you have a look at what people are writing every time you go and advertise your new 5G networks, people are writing cancer causing, making us sick. We don't need faster internet. We don't need it. You're doing it for autonomous cars. You're doing it for robotics. You're doing it for all your facial recognition cameras. You're doing it for all your own government purposes. We don't want this or need it. And you need to start listening to us because our numbers are growing every day. And you doing this, saying that Optus is testing 26 gigahertz in Sydney, you're testing it on human beings. How can you think that's okay? How can anyone think that's all right? It's not good enough, I'm sorry to tell you. I was going to read through the article here. They've got the approval of ACMA. Fantastic. Good job, ACMA. To test 4 locations in Sydney, including Macquarie Park. So if you guys are living around Macquarie Park in Sydney, I would suggest staying out of that area for a little while they do this testing on human beings. I promise you there's been no consultation. If anyone lives in that Macquarie Park area, I'd love to know if you were consulted about this getting flicked up. Because generally, when a test is being done on your body, you get consulted. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to put an x-ray over your body. Here's a thing to sign off to say we're going to do an x-ray test across your body. Yes, x-rays are ionizing radiation, and this is non-ionizing. But non-ionizing radiation is still something that makes you sick. It reacts with DNA, oxygen, water. Our bodies are 80% water. We're electrical beings. And they're testing this stuff everywhere. And people are not being consulted. We're not your fucking guinea pigs, government. We're not your guinea pigs, Telstra, Optus, Vodafone. Not going to stand for it. And hopefully you guys continue doing the right thing and sharing this out there to the whole entire world, because the more people that realize what's going on, the more noise they're going to make, and the more we're going to have an opportunity to actually stop this happening, because it's not right what's happening right now. So they're testing 26 gigahertz at Macquarie Park, technology partner Ericsson. So I would boycott Ericsson as well. Run extensive testing at its lab facility in Sydney. So you're running it in a lab, but then you're putting it out there into the real world. The enterprise market in particular is expected to gain from millimeter wavelengths. Mining and port operations are the places that are going to benefit from it. So they're putting money ahead of health, profit ahead of health. We say health ahead of profit. That is our hashtag. I'll chuck it in here as well. Health before profit. We put that hashtag everywhere. Health before profit, every time. And the precautionary principle has to be put into play. And that's that if this may make people sick, you don't turn it on. You don't turn it on and blatantly put in the news that you're testing it on human beings. That's just disgusting. Something's actually really wrong with these people. It's like they're sick in the head if they're doing these things. It's disgusting. Let's have a look here. Hi, Matt. Hi, everyone. We had a customer come in our fish and chip shops today wearing a full-on gas mask. Wow. You know what I say to people? I was speaking to Sienna from this group earlier today and other people. If you want to find out if someone's a sheep or a sheeple, and I don't like naming people because even those that aren't awake will wake up eventually. But if someone's wearing a gas mask or a mask, ask them. So they're walking around with their mask on. I'm safe. Nothing's coming through. I'm not going to get COVID-19. I'm safe. Oh, sorry, covers your nose too. So you can really see no expressions except for me because I got these eyebrows doing the work for me. But you're wearing this mask. Ask someone with a mask, how long do you think you'll be wearing that for? And Mr. Sheeple or Mrs. Sheeple won't be able to answer you because they're just following a directive. They're following an order. They don't actually know how long they're going to be wearing that mask for, but they'll do whatever is told to them and they'll continue following. Someone could say, if you walk and fall off that cliff, that's going to save you from corona. Oh, well, the government said if I walk and fall off this cliff, I'm going to get better. So see you guys. It's been nice knowing you, but I got to walk off this cliff because I just got told. It makes no sense. Dan Banks, I'm seeing what you're writing here. Radio waves in World War I cause weakened immune systems, result Spanish flu. 1G, influenza. 2G, cholera. 3G, influenza. It's very true. You have to look through, it's what's it called? The Electric Rainbow, I think the book's called, or something like that. Tells you all about these different launches and how people got sick. And they blamed it on influenza. Now, these flu-like symptoms that you get from radio waves and electromagnetics that Dan Banks is talking about, invisible rainbow, your body takes in problems and absorbs them. And say, if you're living in an area with a lot of smog and things like that, you'll get more like flu-like symptoms because your body takes it in, it messes with the DNA, and then you get the flu because it tries to get rid of it. Now, when these telecommunication waves and electromagnetic wavelengths get flicked up to these higher levels, our body has no choice. Our body's really smart. It says, you're putting in so much shit into me. I need to do something to get rid of this. And it tries to work out the best way to execute that. And in this case, it's flus. So what you're actually getting as the flu is your body trying to protect itself from something that's coming in and harming it, which in this case is electromagnetic waves. So it makes sense that each time a big industrial changes happen with these 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, people get sick. It's just an excretion of a toxic cell, exactly as Dan Banks says. Thank you, Dan. I love having someone who is scientifically minded in here as well. Didn't they say on the news that the swine flu is back again? No, they're actually saying in the news they're preparing you for the next pandemic already because They need to be ready when they release 6G or 7G. So they've got something they call G4. G4 is the name of the thing that's going through the pigs and everything out in China at the moment. That's how they set you up. But you got to stop watching the mainstream media, because if you watch the mainstream media, it's the next swine flu, this G4, whatever it is. No, this is the next time they're going to flick to the next level of 5G or 6G or whatever it is that they need us to say, well, all these people are getting sick because there's this flu or disease out there. And I might sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't have any tin foil under my hat. Not yet. I will get it if I have to. But these are things that are actually happening. If you understand the way the earth and magnetics and everything interact and the electricity out there, then you'll see that these things are happening, and it's why we're getting sick. So thank you, Dan, for mentioning that as well. And continue jumping on board as well. I'd love to get any more comments. I'm going to jump through the next story. It looks like we've got 23 people watching, which is fantastic. Keep sharing. What do we say? Like, subscribe, share. Boom, 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 boom. Keep doing all that stuff, because I want as many people as possible to see this and understand it. The book being referred to as The Invisible Rainbow is by Arthur Furstenberg. Arthur, you're a legend. Ali Staley, thank you for sharing that. Damien B, I got out to Frankston South. Your waves, your millimeter wavelengths, or your readings, 5G readings out there are off the charts. So my suggestion would be to start looking at ways to protect yourself and your family. That is what I would definitely say, without a doubt. You can't help but go outside into these areas. Avoid where these towers are, I would suggest, which is going to get harder and harder as they drop the small cells in around. With your house, you can actually use, and this sounds crazy, but you can put chicken wire around certain windows and whatnot. And if you put chicken wire around, what it does is those electromagnetic wavelengths get caught up in that wire and do not penetrate into the house. Your body is what makes you sick, because it works like an antenna. 5G networks, once you get into the millimeter wavelengths, work from your feet all the way through to the top of your head as well. So you need to understand that that's what's going to keep on happening, and you need to be aware of that. Hi, Violetta, and Darwood, favorite YouTuber. Who's your favorite YouTuber? You can share them in here as well. I'm going to go on to the next story that I had here as well, if you guys don't mind. And thank you again for all tuning in. It's amazing. Oh, and I needed to tell you, I've got it. Oh, thanks, Dayward. You're my favorite person on this group, as long as no one else is hearing. Dayward, you're my favorite person on this group. And the rest of you, I love you all. You're all amazing. You're all my favorites. What I was going to say is I've now got a Twitter account. I don't actually know how Twitter works, but I think my tag is at Matt_Lawson 09, because 09 is my basketball number. So that's my Twitter. Oh, I should have written Twitter. At Matt_Lawson 09 is my Twitter. So jump onto Twitter and like everything that I do on there, because it's all amazing, amazing, amazing. Vianetta's a Twitter expert. Alpha Omega, please do send through those trees that you've got. Send it to my email address here, and I'll put them up. I'll do a story on them here. I'm always looking for stories to put onto my YouTube channel as well, now that I use YouTube and Twitter, because that's my thing, because I'm a millennium. Wearing jewelry, definitely. Sienna, very good question. 5G, because it works from your toes all the way through to your head. If you're wearing jewelry in between, it can work as an antenna as well. So earrings is bringing it in close to your brain. Chains around your neck is bringing it in close to your heart and your lungs. Be careful with underwire bras. I don't wear underwire bras anymore. No, I never did. I'm working on my chest, but I'm not quite there yet. Underwire bras is why I feel like breast cancer numbers have gone up from 2000 through to now. So be aware of that as well. Any metallic things, you just got to be a bit careful. Go for things that aren't going to attract electromagnetics or conduct them. I can't remember what the things are that don't conduct electricity. There's like certain ones. I just don't remember what they are right now. Too much stuff to remember and hold on to. So Twitter, I've got a Twitter account. I'm just going to go on and have a look at the next story. Please let me know if I badger on too long, because it's already 15 minutes. Happy to talk for, say, half an hour or so. But if you guys get bored, just let me know, because I worry that if people go to replay it, they're going to fall asleep. And I mean, I could use that voice for that meditational kind of like, today you're walking through a forest and you're feeling calm. It's time to sleep and forget about the 5G. but I'm not going to do that for now. So let's have a look at the next one here. I'm just going to bring up what we've got down in my list of things to chat about today, if people will stop texting me. So here, do the geocleanse units work that you plug into the wall? You're going to be very careful with some of these things. Some people, unfortunately, with anything like this, people are looking to make money, political ground, take advantage of people. So be a little bit careful. I would have a look on, don't go to Google because they promote products. Go to something like DuckDuckGo, type in geocleanse and read some reviews. That'd be my idea. I've never heard of it myself though. So I wanted to tell you guys a story about, well, firstly, there's a second wave that's happening in lots of different places. So South Korea has a second wave happening, which is right where they're turning on this 5G and moving it up into the millimeter wavelengths in certain places. In Beijing, they've set up an extra 5,000 base stations for 5G through May. And surprisingly, they got a second wave happening through Beijing, which was really like their first wave. They're putting another 5,000 through in June. So you're going to have 10,000 extra base stations throughout Beijing for the millimeter wavelengths. And it's almost like these people don't give a flying fuck what happens to their people as they move through these technology stages. It's like they feel like they can do whatever they need to advance their technology. For me, it's disgusting. And as I say, we're going to be here not just talking the talk, but doing the actions. And I'll go into the actions again towards the end of this as well. So I was going to talk to you guys about Europe. So in Europe, European members of Parliament, Michael Ravisi and Dr. Klaus Buchner, bravely sponsored a new report exposing the corruption of the science of 5G and cell phone radiation. The International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, which I'll now call ICNIRP, they've called out that they're a closed circle of like-minded scientists and is a self-indulgent science club with a lack of biomedical expertise, as well as a lack of scientific expertise. They are actually in bed with the telcos. That's what these guys are putting forward to their parliament. Although it's recognized by the WHO, which we know is corrupt, they do not have independent scientific advice. We cannot rely on them any further. We agree that the European Commission and national governments from countries like Germany should stop funding them. It's high time the European Commission creates a new public and fully independent advisory council on non-ionizing radiation. That is a round of applause for Europe, because these guys in Parliament are standing up and saying, we're being corrupted by these guys. The radiation watchdog is in bed with the telcos. The telcos want to make money and they're putting trillions of dollars into it. These scientists aren't doing independent research. They're giving the figures that allow the safety levels to be so high that the telcos can do anything they bloody well want to. And it's at human expense. So Europe is stepping up and doing something about it. Now, when we talk about actions and what we're going to do, we're going to continue writing our cease and desist letters that I've talked to you guys about all along. With those, we're now getting to the next round of action where we're getting people to write in to our class action. So our class action is class action 5G at unitedcollective.org. Now, that one there is when you put up, when you get your cease and desist reply back, send it through to that email address. That email address is where we're going to do our class action from. We're going to write to politicians. We're going to make actions happen with lawyers. We're going to take these guys to court and we're going to pull them down. And we know we can do it because we come from love and kindness and smarts. It's not about fighting. It's not about cutting down the towers or lighting them up. It's about love and kindness and smarts. And that's where we're going to win. And we can't be defeated because we have so many people behind this movement that are ready and willing to make a change right now. And I've said this before, if we shoot 300 bullets and one hits and brings this down, that's all we need. It doesn't matter who it comes from. And when I talk about we, I talk about the collective community that are against 5G, the collective community that are against vaccination being mandatory, the collective community that are against corruption in government. And we can do this together. So that's a big step in Europe, and I think it's amazing. And what I think is going to start happening is the people at Apanza, INCRIP, ACMA, So that's the media watchdogs in Australia, the telcos, the government, even some of these doctors that are sort of pushing the wrong narrative. They're going to start falling on their swords. They'd be in their little building. They'd see these tweets coming out, YouTube, Facebook, paperwork coming through, class actions. They'd be sitting there going with their pipe, George, I feel like we're fucked because these people are coming after us. Change the narrative. They go, boom, COVID-19, change the narrative. Racial, let's do a racial thing, put that through. Let's change the narrative one more time. We'll turn religions against each other. And when that all isn't working because we're still doing this guy at his pipe's going to be like, fuck, we're actually not getting away with this. What else can we possibly do? You know what? We might have to turn these things on because, turn these things off because there's too many people alert and aware to what's going on. And we're going to have to redo this in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years because too many people are woken up to exactly what's going on. Now, Alpha Omega, if you're in a different country and you haven't got our class action happening, because this is just in Australia right now, get a group of people together. It only takes one person to make a difference. One person to make Roger get scared with his pipe. Because one person with a lot of voice, with a loud noise, like a lion, can change the whole entire world. Just look at certain people like your Malcolm X's, your JFK's, you've got all these people that have made noise. Even someone like John Lennon with his music and his speaking from love and kindness. People like that change the world. Sure, yes, a lot of them end up dead, assassinated, whatever happens, but their voice never stops. It doesn't change that they make this noise, and it makes a huge difference. And, we can say we're not going to sit in silence or whatever song it is we want to say, because we can change this. We can change the narrative to be our story. Our story is one that doesn't give up any of the way. If we hit a hurdle, we keep on going. And the poor old guys sitting in their offices saying, change the narrative, finally at some stage, they're going to start bickering amongst themselves because there's ego. They're not coming from love. They're coming from anger and greed and hate. And they've got their money bag sitting here. And if someone's pulling from that money bag by stopping what they're doing, they're going to get greedy and they're going to make bad decisions. And when they make bad decisions, we'll be sitting here ready to pounce and move forwards with a life that's different to what we've seen now. We can abolish the taxes. We can abolish the mortgages being the way they are. We're not going to take it. That's a good song. I like that. We're not going to take it anymore. So both of you saying we're not going to take it. I think you guys saw the video on my Facebook of some guy doing that. He was a lovely man. He just didn't know how to sing so well. And I'm not singing for you guys here tonight. If I get enough people on the page, if you all share and promise you've shared, I might do a poem for you at the end, if you're lucky. We'll try not to run over 40 minutes. We're at 23 minutes now. I'll move on to the next news story here. I'll just bring up what I've got here. Actually, one of my tweets is going crazy at the moment. Let me just get my plug for my phone. Give me 2 seconds. When I say one of my tweets is going crazy, I think it got retweeted twice. So, I'm new to it. It's not 1,000 retweets, but I'll take 2. It's not about hitting everyone. It's the power of one. Okay, let's bring this up. So the next thing I was going to talk about, let me know if you're okay with me continuing on. The next thing I was going to talk about here is, I was just saying there's no way that they can possibly prove 5G is safe because it's never been tested on human beings. So their narrative's going to fall apart because they can't prove it's safe. And when we go to court and they say the guidelines that we set in 2002, we're going to say, well, it's 2020. It's 18 years later. You've gone from 3G to 4G, now it's 5G. You've gone from wide wavelengths to millimeter wavelengths, and you're saying it's all the same. And it's actually totally different. It's not the same at all. So you can't continue to say that this is the same and that it's all going to be okay. So I think it's really about understanding that we can make a huge difference by breaking this narrative up. Please do let me know if you're happy for me to keep on going, because I will stop if you guys are getting bored or anything else. I wanted to talk to you guys about perspectives as well. So I'll tell you what the Twitter was that I put through, because this is one of my favorite things. I made it up myself, but I think the number one way, and I'll write it here. This is my plan. It's a bold plan for stopping COVID-19. So, to stop COVID-19, and I'll put in brackets, it may cause cancer, seasonal flu, and other deaths to rise. Best way to stop COVID. Nearly finished. Just talk amongst yourself. So, my thought process is to stop COVID-19. It may cause more cancers and seasonal flu and other deaths to rise, but the best way to stop COVID-19 is to stop getting tested for COVID-19. It's so simple. The thing that's happening around the world right now is that people are getting tests done left, right, and center in these areas where they're saying COVID-19 is. And they're locking down these suburbs willy-nilly, different suburbs, but leaving ones in the middle not quite locked down because there hasn't been anyone that's proved or test positive. Now, if you stop testing for COVID-19, no one else will have COVID-19 because it's not real. It's not, when I say it's not real, people are getting sick, people are getting the flu, people are getting whatever this is that they're excreting from their bodies. But by locking down these suburbs, the biggest concern is in those suburbs where 5G is turned on, once they lock down that suburb and no one's to come in or out, they can actually flick this right up and get people as sick as they want them to be. And people inside that suburb will just be like, oh, fuck, I got COVID-19 and I'm sick. People outside will be, thank God you locked down that suburb because that COVID-19 didn't spread out. It's a really simple way for them to test these things as much as they possibly want to. And now the fact that we put this up onto our Facebook page yesterday and it got taken down is ridiculous because they're calling us the people giving misinformation, but it's actually that they're putting people's lives at risk by not allowing them to see the truths. And they call us conspiracy theories. There's actually my conspiracy theory is the news are the conspiracists because they're calling the people telling the truth conspiracy theorists. So the real conspiracists are the news. Try saying that 5 times. The conspiracists are specialists. So I think that we really need to realize, what did you say? Video link to show 5G measurements and dying trees. Please share. Thanks, Alvaro Amiga. We'll definitely share it up. I might do a video on your video about a video and put it up on here because I really love spreading and sharing truths like that as well. Now, that's my little saying that I put out there because I feel like what they're doing right now is still trying to divide us left, right, and center. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys lastly about perspectives. So perspective in life is a huge thing. And this is a little bit off the 5G tangent. Are you happy for me to talk about perspectives? Please let me know. Please continue to share, hit share into your groups. I think you can share straight to Twitter because I'm a Twitter expert now. You can share to Facebook. You can share to, where else can you share to? Share to everywhere. We've got Zamamo.com. Now we need to do a big push for Zamamo.com. $7 a month and you can go on there and there's freedom of speech. You can talk about anything you want to, as long as it's not disgusting, as long as it's not gun trafficking, kitty trafficking, people trafficking. You can have freedom of speech there. You can talk about whatever you need to talk about on our platform, Zamamo.com. $7 a month, $70 a year. It's like 2 months for free. I hate spooking stuff. I don't like advertising and all that kind of thing. Now, what we want to do is, if you're happy to, I'm going to talk about perspective. Now, what's happening in this world right now is we're losing the kindness factor. Now, perspective is about seeing someone and understanding they see things in a different way to what you see things. So Zamamo.com is just here. I'll just put it here. There's no need to be added. You just go on there, Terry, and you'll be off and running. I can see you and Sienna are going to be friends with your choice of very poor songs. My phone's just going a bit crazy here. I don't know why, but it doesn't charge anymore. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say the government's doing it, but I'm not. So I'll just blame my crappy cord. So perspective is key in all we do in life. Now, I'm going to give you a little thing that I've sort of thought of myself. And I'm not a great philosopher. I'm not Plato or any of those guys. But the philosophy of perspective for me, the best way you can see it is to talk about color. So not color as in someone being colorblind and seeing colors in a different way. All of us see color, and it comes through a spectrum in our eye. And between that spectrum in our eye and our brain is perception. So somewhere between our spectrum color in our eye and where it hits our brain, that's where perception happens. Now, if you're in the world and you get born into the world and you start learning, so you look at the sky and it's blue, look at the green leaves and they're green, look at this color and it's pink. You learn the word for what the color is you're seeing. The thing that we don't realize is I can't actually see what you're seeing, and you can't see what I'm seeing. So you might be going outside and saying, there's a beautiful blue sky and blah, 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 blah. I might be looking at that blue sky and seeing gray. Or someone could be going and looking at a tree and saying, look at the beautiful green leaves. And I might go and see those tree leaves as a shade of gray, because between my eye and where it hits my brain, my perception might pick it up as totally different. And this is why we need to see the world through each other's eyes and understand that no one's seeing the same thing. So when people are depressed or suffering anxiety or things like that, we need to realize that maybe for some reason their perception between eye and brain is totally different to what our perception is. Now that's just on color. So hopefully that made sense. It's not color blindness, it's perception between eyeball, spectrum, and brain. That we could all be seeing something different. Someone suffering severe depression might be seeing everything in shades of gray throughout their whole life, and we would never know. We wouldn't know because they've been told that's green, and they learn that it's green, and every time you pick that leaf and you see it as green, they still call it green, but they might be seeing it in a shade of gray. I know it sounds crazy, weird, but that's how perception works. The other thing with perception is you might go out into a day, and if you're in a really good spot, I would walk out the front and I would see two lovers kissing. I would see birds chirping. I would see butterflies going past. Everything would be amazing. The person next to me who's suffering from depression wouldn't see the people kissing. They would see a broken crack in a window. They would see a branch falling off a tree. They would pick up that the lights turn red when they always wished that they were green when they went to it. Perception is key in everything we see in life. Why I say this is because we're all awakening at different times, and why I try not to call people sheeple as much as I do say it, but I try not to. People see things in a very different way. So people may be seeing the world as just ticking along in the same way that it always has, and COVID giving them fear. I see it in a different way. I see the opportunity to teach people and bring people to a new understanding of what's happening out there in the world. And I feel like each and every one of us has different times that we come to these realizations, and not everyone's going to come to the same realization as maybe what we have, and not everyone's going to get through this in the same way. Some people are going to suffer severe depression through this. Some people are going to have deep anxiety. The best thing we can do, and there's one universal language, and I think it is love. Now, not love as in the love for me and a woman, or you and a guy, or not love for a child, not love for a person, not love for a bird. Love. Love is the key to everything in this world. And when I say love, it's a feeling of wholeness and being and vibration. And it's about being at one with everything around you. And some people call it Allah. Some people call it God. Some people call it, so put it down to a religious standpoint. Some people put it down to what they are feeling throughout their life. But all of us had the opportunity through a crisis like this to come from that spot and see everything together. Because if we all come from a place of love, and love meaning everything being together, and all of us, you don't have to be on the same page, and your perspective doesn't have to be the same. You don't have to have the same ideals. You just come from a place of love, and together we can vibrate and the world can move in a different way. That's the scariest thing for anyone out there, because if you think about the saying, divide and conquer. So divide and conquer is actually something they use within mathematics, and it's something they use within science. but it's actually something they use within our world to keep us under wraps or to keep us doing what they want. So this social distancing, which is actually social conditioning, is divide and conquer. Remember, here is love. Here is dividing and conquering people. So if we start thinking from a place of love together and raising our vibration, we can't be told what to do anymore. We're not going to continue living a life of oppression because that's what's happening worldwide right now. Just have a look at Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, there is uprise happening right now because of the laws coming in from China. Now, China being a communist state, Hong Kong still wants to work under a democracy. People there are raising up from a place of love, and they're saying they're not rioting. It's getting called riots, but they're protesting for their rights to be individual sovereign people, and they're getting smashed. 400 people got arrested today. Now, last year, people started rising up everywhere worldwide. And this is what I actually think is the great awakening that people talk about. And it's not just a spiritual awakening, it's an awakening of coming out from in here, which we talked about the last few days, to looking out here. By looking out here, you start taking in the perspectives of everyone around you. When you're insular like this, it's your perspective and no other way, the media's perspective and the government. Once you're like that and looking out like this, everything is there for you. There's abundance. You can have anything you want in this life, and you can make a huge difference to not only your own life and the people around you, but the whole world. So my thing I would say is do not let them use this method of divide and conquer. I've actually got, again, a quote written here, I think, in my phone, if I have it still. Did I put it here? I don't think I did. I don't think I saved it. No, I didn't. I remember to get, where are we? Oh, maybe it's here. No, I didn't keep it. So I'll find it here. Just give me 2 seconds, because this is a really good thing that they say here. And we want to do the opposite of it. So here it says divide and conquer is to make a people disagree and fight with one another so they will not join together against one. So divide and conquer is to make a group of people disagree and fight with one another so they cannot join together against one. And it's exactly right. So if they are allowed to continue to divide and conquer like they're trying to do through these suburbs, through turning races against each other, turning religion against each other, then we will lose. But if we stay here and don't allow that to happen, we'll rise up together and we'll make a huge difference, and we'll live in a world that's nothing like what we saw before. The new normal isn't about going back or backwards. The new normal is not about social distancing. The new normal is not about wearing masks. The new normal is not about cashless society. The new normal is whatever we want it to be. The new normal is hugging each other more than ever before. The new normal is visiting your parents and giving them love no matter what the circumstances have been in the past. The new normal is loving your family deeper and more than ever before. The new normal is always coming from a place of love. The new normal is social gatherings everywhere, coming together in huge congregations to celebrate life and spread from a vibration of love together. The new normal is going to be the most beautiful world that we've ever imagined and envisaged, and better than anything we could probably ever think would happen from here where we are right now. The only way to have that is to continue fighting this together. So hopefully that makes sense. Do you want a poem? I can read you a poem if you like, if I can find one. I'm just trying to think where I might have one. Let me have a look. I'll try and finish with a bit of a poem if I can find one. I don't even know what I've got in here. Just give me a yes if you want one. I'll do one really quickly and then I'll let you guys go. Oh, we're getting yes? Okay. Give me a sec. What do you want one about? We're getting yeses. I'm just finding one here. you want something romantic? Do you want something about my kids? What do you want? I can do something sad. Let's do this one. Let's try this one. Kids. About my kids. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that. Something about the beautiful world. I can do one called Just Hold On. There's one that's called Just Hold On. Do you want that? It's just about no matter what happens, just hold on and keep on going. Does that sound all right? Let's have a look. I'm just trying to find one. Sorry, I won't be long. I'll do Just Hold On and I'll do one other. Okay, you ready? Just hold on. When all your hope is gone, you're tired and you're sore, and you just don't think you can do it anymore. When your life is dark and full of despair, and loneliness is your only friend, just hold on. Just hold on. When tears stream down your battered face, and no one hears your silent screams, just hold on. When you least expect it, the tide will turn. Your soul will start to mend, so just hold on. When all that lingers is doubt and fear, a safe passage isn't always clear. When you least expect it, that tide will turn, your soul will start to mend, so just hold on. Just hold on, my friend. I'll do one more. Last one. And then we're out for the night, and we'll be back here tomorrow talking more about 5G for you. Okay, this one's about kids. So any of you can have this one for a kid. Are you ready? Okay. Oh, actually, I've just seen a message. Easy Bo. Give some prayers for our friend Blake. He's in hospital with stage 5 cancer and he's not going to make it. Please pray for him. I'm so sorry, Easy Bo. Definitely will pray for you tonight. And we'll hopefully there's a recovery there. If not, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll just quickly do this last poem. So this is for kids. Any of you that have got kids, you can relate to this one. I'll just flick it through. Are you ready? Just lift one foot, then the other. Soon, little one, you will discover the world around you in all its glory. But Daddy's going to guide you, don't you worry. To choose right over wrong, learning as you go. There's no such thing as too fast or too slow. His big, strong hands will lift you up every single time you've had enough. Such a stoic man, standing so strong, you'll never be forgotten now that you're gone. Oh, this is about my dad, actually. Do you want to hear this one? I'll read it. It's about my dad, okay? It's like he's saying this about me. Sorry. Rabbiting on now. Sorry about that. It's about my dad. My dad passed away in April last year. So I'm just going to read this poem. It's not a sad one, though. It's about how he used to look after me. So you ready? Just lift one foot, then the other. Soon, little one, you will discover the world around you in all its glory, but Daddy's going to guide you, don't you worry. To choose right over wrong, learning as you go. There's no such thing as too fast or too slow. His big, strong hands would lift you up every single time you've had enough. Such a stoic man, standing so strong, you'll never be forgotten now that you're gone. Your strength and your courage will always live on. Dad, you're the one we could always lean on. As time caught up, those big, strong hands started to wilt, but never the man. Too proud to ask for help, standing tall to the end, surrounded by loved ones upright in his bed. Talking about days spent together under the sun, playing footy and cricket or sailing at noon. Never forgotten, but time catches up. Sometimes time just isn't enough. Such a stoic man, standing so strong, he'll never be forgotten now that he's gone. Your strength and your courage will always live on. Dad, you're the one we could always lean on. Gone but not forgotten, as strong as they come. Dad, you're the one we could always lean on. Drop the mic. That's for my dad. I think, that's probably it for the night. I know I've sort of gone on a little bit too long, and that was a bit of a tangent. But Love to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Please feel free to share. If you have any questions, we'll be back on tomorrow night. I've got some really big news about 5G, and we'll keep moving forward. Darwood, I'm not going to be going back on Facebook. They've given me the offer to go back in November, but I'm just going to take all the crew and go to Zamamo instead. Okay, love you all. Peace. And tomorrow there'll be a heap of good new, exciting news. And keep rising up, keep sharing this as much as possible. Peace out.